So now I see you have your name spelled as Ulle, but it is pronounced Ulf. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's correctly. It's Ulf. It's
Mm.
Ulle is just a nickname.
Okay.
Ulf is not very common here in Germany. It's Swedish.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Very seldom.
Let's do this.
I asked about Facebook because a friend of mine asked, "Where's the link? How can I see it?" You know.
Okay. Well, I can give you a link that you can send to him.
Lars, Lars Hieneman. He said you bought a wheel from him. Yeah,
I did. Yeah, my monster, or I'm sorry, my Nikola 100-volt I bought from him.
You really bought a wheel from Europe? Crazy.
I did, but it didn't work out the way that I hoped it was going to.
Oh,
I thought I was going to be, by doing that, I was going to get it quicker, and it wasn't. There was all kinds of delays, and it was kind of annoying. Yeah. Okay, so I just sent you the YouTube link for the stream. If someone wants to see it. Let me let's see. I'll put the link on electricunicycle.org.
Okay.
There you go. So right now it's about 9 o'clock. It's about 9 o'clock out there. There we go. Hey, Dave Wood. How you doing, man? Robert Weir. Let's see. Who else do we have in here?
So you have a list of people joining?
Yeah, like I can see, like right now we have 6 people in right now.
Ah, cool.
Mike in Tampa is here. Hi, Mike. How you doing? Give it a few minutes. Just let a couple people roll in here. Okay.
Nice that we finally made it.
Yeah, I was thinking about this because I think Marty and I originally talked about this like back in 2018 when him and I were streaming.
Yeah. Actually, long time ago, and then it was always you guys only wanted to do it in the evening, and when you have early evening, it's for me 2 or 3 a.m.
Yeah,
you know, that
wasn't
possible.
Right. Well, it was hard because we have you 6 hours ahead of me, and then I have Marty 3 hours behind me.
Yeah,
it was very hard to get the times coordinated, I guess. So, but I'm glad you're finally here. So, those that don't know, this is
me too.
Oof. He lives in Germany, and I appreciate him coming on today. And he was a KingSong rep for about a year and a half. So, I mean, was your job primarily to interface on social media, basically, to be like this social media rep for KingSong, or like what were your responsibilities?
Actually, yes. I only was responsible for social media, forums and Facebook. I have to say it was voluntarily, not paid. Yeah, I received a bonus on 2 wheels. Let's say it like this.
Really?
So so I got some compensation, really, but in general, it was I've made it because it was my hobby, just out of fun, and and I had pretty good contacts to KingSong before because I bought several wheels from them, and so it worked out. I asked them, I can help you on Facebook, and then we made this official someday, and it worked out till end of last year, and I have to say I'm still perfectly friends with them. We are totally fine. It's not gone in. We don't split.
Right. You didn't split on bad terms.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not
good.
at all.
What wheels do you have right now?
Right now I have a 16X and a 18S.
Oh, okay.
Old 18S, not the new one. No suspension wheel. The suspension wheel, unfortunately, I have to wait 3 weeks more till it's coming.
Yeah, mine S18 is hopefully going to be here probably about 3 weeks actually, because I think they're supposed to get it in about 2 weeks, and then it'll probably take a week to get to me. So I'm hoping by the middle of September I'll have an S18. So you've never ridden one of the suspension wheels yet?
No, actually not. No.
Okay.
Here in Germany, you don't get them that fast. Yeah, and we are a small market, so we don't have demo wheels here any. It's not the market is not big enough that our sellers get any demo wheels, unfortunately.
So what are the laws in Germany regarding PEVs? Like, are they restrictive? Like no more than 25 kilometers an hour, can only ride in certain areas?
That would be nice. They're as strict as they are totally forbidden.
Totally forbidden.
Yeah,
wow.
you can't ride them in the official traffic. You only can use them on private ground. Nonetheless, I'm riding now since 5 years, and I never got caught. In the last year, it got more bad because more people are using personal electric vehicles. But the years before, I guess the cops don't know either what to do with us. When they saw me, they just done nothing. But now, when it's running really bad and you have a really ferocious cop, then he can confiscate your wheel.
Oh wow! So James in comments, he said that even scooters. So even scooters, it's the same thing in Germany, that they're playing.
No, scooters are now allowed since last year June.
Okay.
But they are only allowed to drive about 13 mph.
Oh wow!
13 miles per hour is 20 kilometers per hour. That's really slow. Yeah, I rented some, and it's so boring, and no. 20 kilometers or 12, 13 miles per hour is just not. You can't ride them on the streets in the traffic. It's a joke.
Right. So
and normally the plan from the government was last year, when they allowed the scooters, they also wanted to allow electric skateboards and also the UCs, but someone in the government said no, and so we have bad luck.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, it is. I'm driving, but when I see cops, I just smell them. I just go from my wheel because it can get very expensive. Very expensive.
So, for the most part, they're not. Even though it is technically forbidden, they don't really actively try to go after you.
Yeah, it depends. It's in the bigger cities like Berlin, you can't ride at all. I've heard. Yeah. My town is not that big. I mean, it's not small. It's about 500,000 people, but it's spread, and we don't see cops so much. But when I see them, I go off. And trolley the wheel. They must get me caught in the act. Otherwise, they can't do anything. So I can trolley it around. They can't say anything. But when they catch me driving, it can get really expensive. It just depends on the cop itself. You don't know. I was lucky until now, knock on wood.
Right.
But I heard of several people just last week. One of the guys doing a big job for legislation got caught by the police, and they confiscated his wheel, and now we must see how he gets it back, and it's horror. It's really it's a joke. They really got more important things to do, I think.
So I mean, are the bans based on an old law, and you guys? Okay, so you guys are just trying.
That's a law from 1930, somewhat, which says everything faster than 3 miles or something is a vehicle, and a vehicle must have insurance, and must have brakes and a seat, and some things you can't have on an UC.
Wow.
So we are dumped. Yeah. Nobody is giving us this insurance, and every vehicle here in Germany or in Europe must drive with insurance, because if you make a crash or something, someone must pay. It's
Wow.
like with cars. You need insurance. They don't let you drive anything without. Bikes are another story here. You can drive, not bikes, bicycles. Bicycles are another story. You can drive them however you want. Yeah, that's private insurance. But everything with a motor must have insurance, and that's what we can't get because our vehicles are not official, and so we don't get insurance. It's the chicken
Wow.
and the egg,
Yeah, exactly. It's a no-win situation, it sounds like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So I guess you're saying that it's that way in most of Europe, most of the European countries. It's similar.
No. Actually, in some countries they close both eyes, like France. They, as far as I know, I'm no absolutely expert for the other countries, but France is a big market for UCs, absolutely, and for scooters.
Mm-hmm.
Paris, you see them everywhere, and they're allowed. They have now this rule, 25 kilometers per hour. That's 16, 17
Right.
miles per hour. But they don't check if they are faster, You can still drive them.
Mm-hmm.
The KingSongs there are sold with officially 25 kilometers per hour, and you can drive them, as far as I know.
Okay.
Then there are other countries, Denmark, which allow them in general, if it hasn't changed in the last 6 months. But Germany always was very bureaucratic.
Mm-hmm. Someone just commented, Mike in Tampa, that he said in Florida, if your vehicle has a motor, you're only required to have insurance on it if it has 4 wheels. So in other words, he says, in other words, a motorcycle isn't required to have insurance. I didn't know that, Mike. I thought a motorcycle was required to have insurance, and neither are EUCs. But I think that my fear has always been that the more restrictive stuff that's happening in places like Germany, that if there's some like big incidents where EUCs get a lot of attention thrown on them in the United States, that legislators could start to try to restrict them as well. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I understand that. When I see the videos of the New York guys driving 30 or 40 miles per hour just through the traffic, I'm not against it. I'm not totally for it, because when someone in Germany sees this, we never get them regulated. The only chance we here have in Germany is that they allow them with 25 kilometers per hour, and then close both eyes if they're a bit faster. But we never will get them allowed when they drive 30 miles per hour or 40. Never.
Right.
You can forget that. We already have hard laws on e-bikes, e-bicycles, bicycles with batteries.
Yeah.
They are also regulated when you can have a faster one which drives until 27 miles per hour, but you need insurance for this also. It's very regulated here, and we never get them allowed when they are faster than 25 kilometers per hour. I don't think so.
Wow.
And we would be happy if we at least have them for 25 kilometers per hour. But I want to get to the main point. How is it working in the States when somebody is doing a crash in New York? When someone is on his EUC and driving into someone or in a car?
Well, I know that happens. I've heard that they have had incidents where they've run into cars and stuff. I don't know, to be quite honest with you, because obviously the person. Well, it depends on the situation. Sometimes a car hits an EUC, or sometimes
sure.
hits a car. But if you're on an EUC and you are responsible for the crash, I don't know. To be quite honest, you wouldn't be covered by your insurance here.
So, but with cars, you have to make an insurance also, or you can't drive them without. Or are your laws that free that you can do whatever you want?
Well, in the States, for cars, a lot of states have what they call uninsured motorist coverage, which basically means that if you're in an incident with someone that does not have insurance, your insurance will pay for it. So I would guess that's probably how situations are handled.
That's what, yeah, that's sounds like here. You can't use a car without insurance. It's over the number plate. When you have a number plate, you have insurance. You don't get a car without number plate. So basically my question was, I guess when PEVs get more popular in the States, someone will have an eye on it, or I can't imagine they stay uninsured forever. What if someone with no money at all makes a big crash in New York City, and it can get high up fast. You can crash into someone who breaks his neck, and you are done with your life.
Right. Well, again, probably the person that was involved. Oh, you mean like if they hit someone in a car, or hit someone like a pedestrian, like someone walking?
No, someone with a UC hits a pedestrian. The pedestrian breaks his neck or whatever, or your UC rolls onto a big traffic. A
circle or
traffic circle, and because of it, 5 or 6 cars crash in together. What this is, you have a bill to pay for the rest of your life.
Yeah, well, that's when lawyers get involved, and they would probably pursue that person legally, but the problem is that person doesn't have a lot of financial resources, then they're out of luck anyways, and no insurance.
Yeah, so, and this is the it all has disadvantages, sure, but that's the advantage here. When you go in traffic, normally you can be sure everyone who's driving in traffic has an insurance. So if something happens to me and someone other is the culprit, I can be sure he is not the one who pays. It's his insurance, because he always has one, Right. Just saying this. I don't want this for your country, sure not. Just I ask myself, I see so much in New York, so much driving. I can't imagine it stays free forever,
Yeah, well, like I said, what's going to happen is something really terrible is going to happen where someone is like killed. Yeah, and then that's going to get a whole lot of attention, and then that's when I'm afraid stuff really starts to get bad. For the hobby. So I don't know, but as far as insurance goes, like I said, if they hit a pedestrian, if that pedestrian doesn't have their own coverage and the person that hit them doesn't have coverage, then it's a lawyer would get involved and they would try to pursue it that way. But depending on the situation, that there might not be any money to get. So it's not good either way.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Definitely not. But the New York guys will tell you, and I've heard it a million times, that it's a different world up there, and that's just the way things are. And if other people try to understand it, they're not going to understand it. So I've stopped trying to understand it a long time ago.
I think so, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen these discussions. It's you can't argue,
No, you definitely can't.
Yeah.
So anyway, what have you been thinking about the EUCs have been coming out in 2020 so far? Because the big ones, I would say, are the veteran Sherman, the KingSong S18, and the Inmotion V11. Like what are you thinking about? Suspension wheels versus the battery and the power in the veteran Sherman.
Yeah, to be honest, first I thought, do we need suspension? Yeah, and I heard it. I heard it from a lot of people. Do we really need this? But everyone who has driven it or drove it says it's great. So
it is.
I already ordered my S18. I've done it a long time before because I want to try it anyways. So I guess it's a great thing, and I guess Inmotion and KingSong have done a really great engineering job. The Inmotion looks perfectly engineered, and
for a few things.
Really good. And the KingSong also, they've done a good job in implementing the bicycle damper,
right?
Just a central up, that's nobody else has done. The Gotway EX, we only have seen a little video or picture. I don't know. Looks a bit flimsy, but I haven't seen any details on the damping. And you ask for the other model, the veteran Sherman. Oh, it's great battery, but I can't see any other advantages. For me, it's like a Gotway. The Gotway 100 volt is as fast, perhaps 3 or 4 kilometers slower. That doesn't make any sense. And as I saw it on Marty's hill test, I really doubt the technology because it really looks like an UC from 2016 power-wise. I mean, Marty is a really light guy, and it's not just that it burned. That can happen. That can happen to any unicycle on this hill. This hill is so crazy,
Right.
and when you drive up those hills, unbelievable amps are flowing. We can talk about this later. But it made it sound like it even wasn't able to carry Marty up this hill. And Marty is a light guy. And behind him was his friend, much more heavy, really doing it easy on the M Super or the MSS or MSX, whatever he drove. So I don't know if it's that great as other people say. And I also I saw some pictures about battery connections inside the Sherman, which really don't got me convinced about it.
Well, I guess as a result of the way that it handled that hill, that they did make some changes so that they have a new system, because Marty has the Sherman working again.
Yeah, I've seen it.
A new system board that I believe is supposed to have some changes that it is supposed to prevent itself from basically melting down, to cut the amp draw in those situations. And I guess there's the production wheels also have fuses, which isn't an elegant solution, but it's like. No, go ahead.
I've heard this argument of the board protecting itself by getting down the amps. I've read this today in a post from Marty, and sorry, I doubt this, because if this is true, this would mean that the wheel just would get weak in the pedals. It would really go absolutely down when it doesn't have enough amps, and it goes down in amps. The pedals would go weak as hell. So this makes no sense either. I really would like to see it again. And
well, I think
it wasn't the board. One point only. Sorry, it wasn't the board. The motor makes. Not only on this video, I saw a video from a girl from the States, which always drives very fast. I forgot the name now. V, yeah, exactly. She goes up a hill and it makes this crunchy sounds of magnets catching together. This doesn't sound like a new UC. It sounds like an old motor type. Not. That's my guess. I can't say it. I haven't driven it, but just from what I've seen. And from what I know from technology, the board is exactly the same as in the MSX. Yeah, looks exactly the same. They seem to have the same supplier. Just the motor is kind of older. Let's say it like this. I don't know. It was unbelievable weak, and it had 4 batteries. You get to know it has double the power. Double the battery power than an MSX, and it didn't make it up the hill. And not, okay, the board blown, but it was near to stop with Marty on it. That's not strong.
Well, and also you saw that another side effect of the ride was the motor wires melted. The insulation melted. So I guess another change is they put that, I don't know what that material is, but the weave insulation on the individual motor wires, that's another change with the production. But again, that's kind of fixing the symptom, not the cause, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It has double the batteries. It has double the power. It can provide double the amps. But this all doesn't help on a hill like this, because then you need cables with this with diameter,
Right.
and you can't have it. most people think, oh, my wheel, you know, let's say my battery can provide 40 amps. So they think they go up a hill and they only have 40 amps on the wires. That's not true. When you go very slow on a hill, you can have up to 300-400 amps through the wires. It's
Oh, wow.
the wheel is not running at the 80 volts. It's only running on, when it is on high speed, it's running on 80 or 84 volts. But when it's driving slow, it only has about 20 or 30, and so the amps go much higher then. Low volts means much higher amps, and so on a hill like this, you have unbelievable high amps, much more than what the battery can provide.
Right.
Yeah,
Wow.
because it's changed by the voltage, and it's very technical, but that's why these wires got melted. They don't melt on a normal driving. It's only on those hills when you go with a very small, very, very low speed.
Right. Well, I mean, I think I mean, outside of the hill performance, which which everybody knows about, and it wasn't that great. I mean, outside of that, Marty absolutely is in love with the wheel.
Yeah.
And it seems for cruising and that kind of stuff, it's because it's so big and so heavy. I guess it almost feels like a motor vehicle. It's very, very stable. So,
to be fair, I don't say anything. When Marty says it's driving great, then I'm sure it's driving great. Yeah, and you see it when he's driving it. You can cruise along. It has endless power and battery. You have a very big range. It's just, I think, for very long hills, it's not made for that.
right.
For heavy people again. But
well, he said that he was going to try to go back Overheat Hill with this new system board and
really,
so he is. But he said if it starts making those horrible noises, he's going to stop this time instead.
That would be better, I guess. I think so.
But yeah, I'm not sure when he's going to do that. Probably soon.
As soon as it starts making these noises of magnets catching, we know this sound. We know when we have a very hard brake or something, or a crazy acceleration, or on a hill like this. But when we hear it, the UC is at its end.
Right. I don't know, but maybe are the batteries in the veteran? Aren't they 18650s in the veteran pack?
Yeah,
they are 18650s. Okay.
They are, yeah.
Okay.
They are actually the packs are the same size than in any MSX, but it's a battery configuration I have never seen before in a UC, and that's my second doubt why I really was interested in the wheel. I thought, great, I only have to charge it every once in a week. Yeah. And I like the tire size. I guess this 18-19 inch is perfect for me. I really want to buy it, but some things then, no. This battery configuration is, you normally don't have them in UCs. You only have them in electric scooters. When there are several photos flowing around of the batteries, and they only have one pair of charge wires going in. They don't have a pair for charging and one for decharging. They only have one pair. And you only see this on scooters because on UCs, you need the second pair of wires. You need it normally for braking and for going down a hill. And I can't prove it, but it's a very unconventional configuration. Let's say it like this.
Yeah.
Never seen it before. Never. Especially because of it, I talked to my friend before we had this chat today to get some details, but it was too late to make it a little bit more on the head. What is wrong with it? But it's very unconventional.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you think about some of the other things about the veteran, like the roll cage that they have and
Absolutely. Roll cage. I like the display on top. It's great. No, don't get me wrong. It's certainly a great wheel if you don't bring it onto overheat hills. And my opinion about overheat hill isn't as good at all. You know, I
Right.
always argument, don't bring it to the what's the point in doing this to your battery or to your wheel just to prove it makes it. I don't know if it's that much fun to go up such a hill.
Yeah, I
For
don't know
me,
that
not.
it's fun.
For me, it's no fun.
No, I don't think it's fun. And
I don't know.
that's kind of what I was talking about in the video that I did last week. That I talked about the V11 and how it did not even make it to Overheat Hill, and I said that a lot of people put a lot of importance on that Overheat Hill performance. And to me, no one, I mean, hardly anybody is ever going to be in that situation. So I don't know that you should put that much importance on it. It is entertaining, obviously, but I don't know how important it is.
Exactly. And that's my point. I don't want to say anything against the Sherman about normal cruising or something. It's great. The cage is doing something for stability. The display is great. The big battery, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who needs, if you don't go to Overheat Hill, buy it. Buy
You're
the
probably
V11.
fine.
Why not?
Although it is very, very expensive.
Yeah, that's the third point.
So now we did mention earlier, or you mentioned actually, the Gotway EX, and then right in line with the Gotway EX is because we've been seeing both of them together lately. Is the new M Super Pro with a 24-inch motor, and it's going to have a huge battery. A battery I think that is supposed to actually be even bigger than what's in the Veteran.
It's 3,600 watt hours.
Yeah, because the Veteran is 3,200, right?
Yeah, actually only 3.1.
Oh, 3.1. Okay.
It's 3,108, and the 90 plus they rounded up 90.
Okay.
3,108.
Okay. So what have you been thinking about those two wheels? You mentioned the EX. I agree that the suspension on the EX looks suspicious. It looks like it works, but it also looks like it would be damaged extremely easily in a crash or if you hit a rock because it's very exposed.
Yeah, it's very exposed, and I haven't seen the complete picture of the pedal arm and the suspension. I don't know how it looks. When the pedal arm is also, let's say, sliding on a bar and can't get off from the bar, then perhaps it's hard enough and it takes all the beating. But now it only looks as if the whole wheel weight is working on these two pillars, these two small proprietary pillars they have.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's a reason the suspension in the V11 and the S18, they have used something which is long on the market, normal dampers,
Right. Yeah. Standard parts. You can actually
standard damper parts, and this really looks really flimsy. But I haven't seen it at all. Also in complete picture, you can only see this small two bars looking outside, and you say it yourself. It looks very flimsy. Yeah.
And James MacLeod just made a comment. He said that the EX is a street cruiser not meant for trails, and I agree. But James, my question and my problem I have with the EX is even if you're on the street, obviously people that ride Gotways, a lot of times the Gotways fall, for either one reason or another, they wind up tumbling, and I'm afraid that the EX tumbling is going to very easily damage that suspension. So that's kind of my feeling about it.
Yeah. My point is, when really all of the wheel is on these two bars, this whole wheel weight is on these two small bars, rims they have, and you can see them, and you just lean forward, and there's all this forward and frontward movement is on these two bars, man, it's not good enough. But as said, I haven't seen the complete pedal system. Can be stronger than we think. I don't know.
Yeah, this comment. This is kind of the way that a lot of people feel. Tommy says the suspension of the EX looks like they caught wind of the V11 and S18 about a month before their planned debut, and they just had to throw something together.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it kind of seems that way.
And they again used 90% the same shell as on MSX, as on M Super. We have seen this a long time ago. The engineering part is. I always like to say Gotway is doing a Sukaton with a board and a wheel inside.
Right.
It's far away from that what Inmotion and KingSong are doing.
Right.
Engineering wise.
Right.
They all have their faults. I don't want to be here biased as hell, but it's a difference. You have different wheel yourself. You know it.
Yeah. No, there definitely is a difference. So now, what do you think about the M Super Pro?
Yeah, I had a Monster. You mean a Monster Pro?
I'm sorry. Yeah, Monster Pro.
Yeah. I had a Monster. I loved it. It's great.
Oh, did you? I didn't know you had a Monster.
Ah, yeah, sure. Monster, MSX, Tesla, really, nearly all Gotways. And I enjoyed it, but I'm mostly commuting with my wheel to the work, and in the morning to the work, and using tram and train, bus, and it's just too big for me. Yeah. Other than that, if you only use it for long cruises, it's best wheel you can get. Absolutely. And but I don't know why they have made it even bigger, 24. I mean, the 22 one was sluggish, you know? When it once got running, it has power enough. But, you know, the first meters, it's sluggish because the bigger the wheel, you need more momentum to get it running. I don't know how this is on a 24-inch wheel, really.
So when because I think they're advertising the Monster as a 3,500 watt motor. Do you believe that number?
Nah, no. No. I guess it's made up from the double battery. You know, their normal wheels, they have 1,800 watt hours, and here they have the double battery. So they said, okay, we can bring up the motor power too, which is true. You know, you can provide this energy, but has the motor really 3,500 watt? I don't know. Really. I think all those numbers, 2,200, 2,000, 2,500, they are all a bit made up. You know, normally you can see in several apps, you can see now which wattage is provided to your wheel. And I personally seldomly see it over 1,200 watt. When you cruise, normally you have about 400 watt provided. And if you really lean in, I get it to 1,800 for a nanosecond, I would say. So I did 3,500 watt. But
it's probably just a selling point more than anything. It's a bigger number, so that people excited.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's okay.
What is interesting is the motor they have for the Monster Pro. It's the first time that I saw the motor isn't small and then has this rim.
It's a hollow motor.
Yeah. I don't know what this hollow means. Hollow, I thought that came from the axle, which is that big.
Yeah.
Hollow. Yeah, I don't know if hollow. What I think is new to this motor is that the magnet actually on this big wheel is outside, and not like you know your old Monster has a small motor, and then there are rims going outside, but you have a small motor, and this makes it hard for the normal Monster to get in running. And perhaps this is much better when we now have the magnets outside on the rim on the 24-inch. We'll see first time that it can be then much better, and then it can make sense that it has 3,500 watt. You know, and perhaps it is not sluggish and slow in the momentum because of this. But I don't know. It's the first time that I see a wheel big like this, and it does not have the motor inside and very small, and the magnets are really outside. We will see. can be a game changer for bigger wheels. I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, that's cool. Well, one of the things that I like about the hollow motor for the Monster is it eliminates that terrible axle and shim problem that they always have, where people have to rip their wheel apart
Yeah,
and tighten the axle nuts constantly on the Monster.
yeah.
Especially.
Actually, at that point, I sold it. I just got it back from my friends from Einradwerkstatt, one
Mhm.
wheel garage.
Yeah.
They made the pedal arms new and all, and I drove about I don't know 50 kilometers or something, and then it just dropped over while standing, and then began the Gotway dance. And directly after it, the pedal arms were again crunched, and that was when I got enough and sold it,
Yeah.
because it was once enough. I get at least 3 or 4 times I had to do it over again on the pedal
Mhm.
arms. It was one of the first versions. It got better lately.
Yeah, mine was a version 1 because I recently sold my Monster as well.
Yeah.
Luckily, I never had to tighten the pedal the
Oh, really lucky.
nuts on my Monster. I did do it on my old M Super once, but it is a pain. It's a bad design. I don't know why they never changed it. You know, KingSong's
Yeah.
design for the pedal arms is much better.
Yeah, it is.
And now the hollow motor is a step up from that there
Yeah,
is no axle
I
at all.
agree. I actually really step up.
Mm-hmm.
They
So
have
now,
a new.
you know that the Inmotion, the V11 has a hollow motor.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
seen it.
And you're
It has as all. It has advantages and disadvantages. You know, the bearing which sits outside this hollow part
yep.
gets much bigger, and so you can have more water ingress. You know, if it's not properly
Right.
made. You know,
Yeah,
on the normal wheels you only have this small bearing, and it's further away from
from the
from
water.
the rubber and
Right.
from the water. Yeah, and if you get hollow, it's a much bigger bearing, and you have a much bigger place to see. You know?
Mhm.
But Inmotion parts look great at all. You know, all this, when you see the video of them taking it apart, it's my God,
Mhm. Yeah.
nearly over-engineered, I guess.
Yeah, it seems it. Now, because I remember when I had a conversation with you about my V11 and the noise I was getting after riding in the rain, you were thinking that possibly water got into the motor itself, not necessarily the bearings, but maybe into the motor and the magnets.
That was just from the experience, the sound you described. Uh, I had a motor which had a little bit water in it, only just a little bit. But this is normally is enough that it starts rusting inside. There must be really pretty good sealed. That's why normally after a dump, you see the first week it runs perfect, and if you just let sit it another week, then it doesn't move at all, because
Mm.
small rust makes it impossible for the magnets to move. And I just thought that your wheel had that. It got a little bit water inside. I mean, you run through big puddles with it.
Yeah, well, it was a torrential downpour, is what I rode through.
Yeah,
It was raining very,
yeah,
very hard. And as far as I know, I sent my wheel back to eWheels, and as far as I know,
yeah.
I don't think that they've taken it apart. So
Oh,
I don't really know, if it's a bearing or if there's something inside the motor.
yeah. It would be interesting to see,
Hmm.
what really was the culprit. Why does it make these sounds?
So did you see the various changes that they're doing with the current V11s now? Because one of those changes is the bearing that
Yeah,
they're putting the rubber seal bearing there.
better bearing. Yeah,
Hmm.
I've seen it.
I'm trying to think some of the other changes that they were doing. I think there was like some firmware changes, a couple of minor things. I was very impressed with all the changes that KingSong did on the pre-production S18 to production.
Yeah,
They made a bunch of changes with the
a
S18.
bunch of changes. Yes, and yes, I think they've done a great job, and they heard for the customers. I mean, it's not. I think the other brands, did they do it at all? Send wheels around and then change much on it?
Mm-hmm.
It's more like for them. It seems more like a last confirmation. Everything runs fine. KingSong really changed some things, and we'll see. When you see now, you always have some problems on new wheels. I don't think we will get this away. You know, I mean the V11 from Marty also didn't even make it to the hill. That was pretty sad.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, because you were saying that the V11 has the smaller MOSFETs.
Yeah.
These are S20s, is that correct?
220, yeah.
220, okay.
220, and the new MOSFETs we all drive is 247.
247s, okay.
The bigger ones, yeah. And that's really important normally.
And what are your thoughts as far as, because I think the S18 is the same deal, where there's not active fans in the system board area doing any cooling. It's all just heat sinks. I mean, do you think that should be normally sufficient enough to keep it cool?
I can't say for the S18 it is more efficient because it's the much bigger MOSFETs. Yeah, it's normally it's not just the missing fan. It's really the size of the MOSFETs. We this 220 MOSFETs we don't have in our wheels since in Gotway or in KingSong since 2016. They are just not strong enough, and they blow if you put too much power on them, and they heat up. But we are here again at this part. Who goes to Overheat Hill? Yeah, okay, He wasn't at Overheat Hill, but okay, the hills before are already pretty hard. Yeah, if you don't do this, buy in the 11. But if you really think about doing much trail riding on hills, honestly, I wouldn't buy it, because this will not get better with the 220 MOSFETs. They can't put the big ones in. There's not enough place. It's a little bit packed, too much packed, this boardroom.
Oh, so you think there's not even enough physical space to put the two?
Yeah, the physical space is not enough. The 12 MOSFETs are laying from left to the right and going from one board end to the other. And if you put big ones on it, it's not enough. You need double the place. Not double, but you don't have it, or you need to design a completely new board. And the shell from the V11 isn't that big at all. I don't know. You must design a new board. And honestly, I don't think Inmotion will do this. They have made the same mistake on the V10F. You also saw videos in the beginning. Marty driving with a friend. Marty on some Gotway and the friend on the V10F, and constantly overpowering.
Overheating.
Later,
I remember.
It was. At this time it was overpowering, and then we found out actually they don't show the accurate temperature. They called it overpowering, but it was overheating on the V10F. Now they call it overheating, but it's the same problem. And actually that's how should I say it? All the other brands have made this mistake. KingSong, now I'm driving S18. It has the big MOSFETs, but I had an 18A, which wasn't that much powerful, but already had 1200 watts.
Yeah.
And it was constantly overheating, as it has the small MOSFETs. And on the S18 that I had, it's the same. You don't have any heat sink or any fan. It's just in the box, so it constantly overheats. I had on my 18A, I've done fans then on myself on the box. One in, one out, to make it better airflow. I don't think you get it away on the V11. But again, if you don't drive that hills, who cares?
Right. Well, I'm trying to think, do any KingSong wheels have fans in the system boards? I don't think they do they?
They all have.
They do?
Yeah, S18, the new S18 does not have.
Right, but like the 18XL and the 16X, they have fans?
Yeah, all.
Okay.
You can see it actually in the diagnostics if the fan is running or not.
Okay.
And it starts over 52 degrees Celsius and runs as long as you go down to 40. Then it stops again.
Okay.
So it's not like on off on like on the Gotway. You sometimes see when it's just this 1 degree on or off, and so they have a bigger march, but they have fans. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because I think the most surprising thing to me about the V11 was that it allowed itself to get hot enough to cause that kind of damage. That's what I did not understand. Why there wasn't any sort of thermal regulation there.
That's a very good point. When I saw the video, the chat, I asked what is over 60 degrees in Celsius, and thought exactly that. Why doesn't the wheel stop? It has to stop. Latest when getting to 70 degree, it has to stop.
Yeah,
and that was the main problem, I guess.
Yeah, I can't remember. Marty said that when he was monitoring the temperature, I can't remember if he saw it get up to 73 or 78 degrees Celsius, which is obviously too hot. But I guess KingSong said that if you took a production wheel up Overheat Hill, I don't know if it would make it, but it should at least not burn itself up. It sounds like maybe there's some sort of difference with the production wheels versus the pre-production.
Yeah, at least they have normally a temperature warning. Well, I think they just mean they don't know if it make it up this hill. The 16X has made it, the 18XL has made it, they all made it. I think it will make it too. Perhaps it overheats, yes, because it has no active fan. They have not thrown one in. I don't know why. It was placed, or it was because the board is laying up and has now this airflow under it. I mean? The tire is down under, but under the board you have this airflow. Perhaps they don't put a fan on it because of that. The heatsink stands out. I don't know.
Well,
but normally the heat generation is not the only problem. It's just what I talked about before. If not too much amps destroy the MOSFETs. Yeah.
Right. Because you've seen the V11 system board, how it's two levels, which I don't think I've ever seen that in an EUC before.
The main reason is it's not only the motherboard and Bluetooth. I guess I haven't one in hand, but I guess it's also the battery management system. From parts of from what I've seen, it looks like on top is the BMS, the management system for the batteries, because there are so much cables going to it for balancing, and that's why it's so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
cool. Actually was on. I don't know the V10F, but I know on the V8 they also had that. And
that's cool. So when you decided to buy the S18, was there a reason that you chose the S18 over the V11, as far as, or is it just because of your KingSong background that you wanted the?
No. I don't like the optics of the V11, to be honest. It grows on me. I don't dislike it that much as in the beginning now, but from the optics, I like the S18 more, and. For the damping system, I guess I think it's made better, but and perhaps also because I'm buying it from my friends at Einradwerkstatt, and they have the V11 also. No, but it's all together. I think mostly optics and the damping system.
Yeah. Well, that's with the V11. It's definitely like a personal preference as far as the way it looks. Either you like it or you like it. And I like it personally, because you're not a trail rider, right? You don't do a lot of trail riding on your EUC.
No, not that much. And it's also getting one is like my typical technical curiosity,
Yeah. Well, obviously I did ride one, and it is great, and the suspension definitely is better. Although I've said multiple times that I was surprised that originally I thought the S18 suspension was here and the V11 suspension was down here as far as the actual way it feels. But after riding the V11, it was a lot closer to the S18 than I expected it to be as far as comfort goes. Right here, someone posted a question. They said, "Can KingSong and Inmotion make a EUC faster than Gotway? If so, why not?" I actually remember having a conversation with you about this. So let people hear what your answer is to that.
My answer to this is, I guess they can, but they have no interest at all. They are not in for the fast race, really not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and to compete, they would have to have 100. They'd have to go 100 volt.
This at the yeah, perhaps they go to 100 volt, but I don't think they will go. Perhaps they will someday go faster than 50 kilometers per hour, but they never will go open end like Gotway. They always will have a tilt back at some speed. You know, if it's not 50, then it's perhaps in 2 years it's perhaps 60. I don't know anything. Yeah, and I don't think so. The speed thematic, we talked about it already 18 months before when I was still with them, and they have no interest. They just think it's fast enough for an oil, for an UC, and I think this too. You know, there are a lot of riders that have a 50-kilometer wheel and never gone faster than 40 kilometers per hour or 45. It's fast enough. They have no interest. I'm pretty sure they can do it. And Inmotion also. But Inmotion even more has no interest. They are a very big company, and it's a really big risk when you bring out a wheel which can go 100 kilometers per hour. I don't see that any kind of responsible for an UC.
Right.
And it's not just from me. It was really the absolute KingSong boss who said, no, it's fast enough. 50 is fast enough.
Did you know that the V11 actually does have a top end of 55?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's also it's a kind of bit of a marketing trick also, I guess.
Yeah.
It is 55 for 80 to 100% battery, as far as I know. Yeah, and actually that is on every wheel. You can go faster when the battery is full. Yeah, and you better choose a speed which it can provide for at least 60% of its battery. You know, until you are at 40% or something.
And there's a special way to get to it in the app. You have to like hit a button 5 times, unlock the special slider to allow you to go to 55. Yeah,
I really don't think any faster. My Monster did go faster than any other wheel that I had. I think it could go 60 kilometers per hour or 35 or 38 miles per hour. And I think I reached one time with it 50 kilometers, 30 miles per hour. And I have no point in driving that fast. And I guess there are a lot of people that think like me. Yes, there are the New York guys. There are some English guys that like racing and going fast, but I personally think the majority, 70% of people don't need it that fast. They have it for cruising, and I've seen you also not that fast going.
Yeah, I mean the fastest I've ever gone is with Mickey from New York City on the MSX. I did 38.
Yeah.
But that was not an enjoyable experience for me. It was
it's not enjoyable. Yeah.
No, it's not. No.
And when you have to brake and something goes in your way, how do you do it on an UC? Yeah, until you have leaned back, you are 40 meters far enough, and no. It's with 2 feet just standing in the wind, no second wheel protecting you, rolling out when you have a defect or something. It's not for me, and I see no point in it, but everyone should do what he wants.
Yeah, no, I agree. Leo asked a question: have you tried the V11 as well? Leo, I don't know if that's directed to Ulf or myself. Ulf ordered an S18. He does not have it yet, and he has not ridden one yet. I own a V11 and I have an S18 on order, and I've ridden them both, obviously. And as far as which feels more torquey, I thought that the V11 feels like it has more torque than the S18. That's been my impression.
would make more sense also because it just has a stronger battery.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So
I heard this too. I heard that the V11 is nearly as torquey as the 16X, which really is great because it's a much bigger wheel. When it's as torquey as the 16X, it's fantastic. And
yeah, 16X is very responsive. It is torquey for sure. Tommy said, the takeaway that I got from Sean's last video was in this comparison. The problem with the veteran Sherman is that it is a high-speed performance road wheel, but it doesn't look like one. But yeah, it definitely does not look like one. But it seems like that is where it does shine the most is on the road, for sure. Someone asked, is solid-state battery technology an interest for EUC companies?
Not yet.
Right. Down the road, yeah, down the road, for sure.
Yeah, down the road, but actually you need a hanger behind your UC to transport these solid-state batteries to get the same power as your lithium-ion battery cells.
Oh, really? They're considerably bigger? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Solid state is not has not the energy density today as the lithium ion. In weight class and in size class, you can't compare with lithium ion.
Because I know that's the best. That Tesla's looking at that, down the road for solid state batteries as well for their cars and stuff.
Yeah. But
not yet.
For the future, we are not there yet.
Let's see. Leo asks, what's Ulf's view on swappable batteries? So I've gotten that in the last live streams. A couple of people were asking about that, because I know with certain scooters, basically you can just pull one battery out and easily put another one in. And some people were thinking about that technology for an EUC. Marty was thinking it wasn't a very practical thing. I don't know what your thoughts are on it.
My honestly thought on it is it just makes no sense. On an EUC, we normally have at least two batteries, if not four. And these are placed left and right from the wheel. Or even if you have a wheel which has it on top, then an exchangeable battery, when it's one battery, perhaps makes sense. But normally, this one battery then isn't that powerful. So for a powerful wheel, you need at least two batteries, if not more, four. And you can't change four batteries. It's just too much and too big. And you cannot only change one. This doesn't work. They must be all at the same voltage. And that's also the reason why you don't have spare battery packs in your backpack. And you can't use them. And it's not good, even if you think you can do it. Yes, you can do and connect a spare battery to your UC. I would not do so because this destroys some of the protections your UC has for overloading the batteries. And when you brake, when you charge it, like with an extra pack, the battery management system works different than while normal driving, and you can't intermix these. You shouldn't do it. It's dangerous.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't
know. Makes just no sense.
Well, that's a good technical answer. I did not know that. Dan, hey Dan, what's up? I don't know if you know the answer to this because I don't even know what IGBTs are. But he asked, is there any reason they don't use IGBTs instead of MOSFETs? You know what IGBTs are? Oof.
I have heard about it, but I don't know it in the moment. This discussion was once about, and the consensus was, no, you can't use IGBTs for the next capacitors. Sorry. We have capacitors also. I don't know what should supercapacitors do. Perhaps Dan should explain further. We already use capacitors for power demands because our batteries are pretty damn sluggish. When you take power and lean in, the first power draw always comes from capacitors.
I just looked it up. It's an IGBT is an insulated gate bipolar transistor. It actually kind of looks like a MOSFET, actually.
Normally, the answer is then always cost related.
Right? Yeah, that is probably it. Then that's funny. Let's see. Real Talk says, "What's the next feasible technology EUC companies can achieve in 2021?"
Yeah, when I would know this. Yeah. I have to say, the dampers and the suspension really was a surprise. I didn't know it, and KingSong really got this under the hood very long.
Yeah, I wonder how long KingSong was working on that, because supposedly Inmotion was working on the V11 for a couple of years.
KingSong worked on the wheel since September last year, but I didn't know it.
Oh, wow.
Normally, something always goes outside and you hear it, but this time I hear nothing. They had some tips from Kuji, as I heard, and the first prototype he drove in September, as far as I know.
Okay, so KingSong turned that around much faster than Inmotion, because, like I said, Inmotion supposedly was working on the V11 for a very long time.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see. Steven says Wolf is a top bloke and very helpful.
I know Steven from a WhatsApp group.
Oh, okay.
It's EUC Mavericks in London.
Oh, okay.
And thanks, Steven.
I've heard of this. Have you heard about the Iron Korea 100? I have heard about that, but I don't remember details about it. It's like a modded.
Yeah, it's a Rockwheel GT16 with 100 volts, but not 100. As far as I know, 92.8 volts or so.
Oh, okay.
I mean, and it's I heard about it since 3 months or even longer. 3 months ago. Yeah, thank you. And you see some photos, but it doesn't get to market, or has it come to market? Then I missed something.
Yeah, I've never heard many details about it.
Yeah, actually, it's Rockwheel GT16.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just the same wheel, same size, just other battery, little bit different case, but looks nearly the same. And it should not be produced by Rockwheel. This Iron Korea is as far as I know, just was a customer from Rockwheel, and now is doing this Iron Korea himself.
Oh, I see.
As far as I know, Rockwheel is out of business.
Okay.
Perhaps they are still selling some Rockwheel GT16, but I haven't heard anything of them.
I haven't heard anything recently about them. Okay, Dave Wood says, "What are your thoughts of Inmotion's plans of AI on future wheels?"
Oh, can you get in some detail? What should this AI?
Artificial intelligence. I thought I remembered. I'm trying to remember. I think Liam mentioned something about that. I'm not quite sure what he even meant by that.
Yeah, I really would like to know what is meant with AI. It's such a word you throw in, and hey, we do AI. Yeah. And
yeah,
I don't know what they mean. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe he'll give some more information. Tom, this is an interesting question, because I've been asked this as well. Is there any negative effects to double charging, like on the Veteran Fast Charge? A lot of EUCs nowadays have dual charge ports. What are your thoughts on pushing a lot of amps through modern battery packs?
It's no problem at all, as long as your battery is big enough.
Okay.
Yeah. The smaller the battery, the more negative effects. And actually, I wouldn't do fast charging on a V8, Inmotion V8, because this has only 2 parallel battery packs. Our nowadays wheels like MSX, KingSong 18, K16, they all have 4 to 6 parallel battery packs, and so you can go double then. You
Okay.
even from some amp point on, it gets dangerous, not for the battery but for the wiring side. Yeah. So I personally I wouldn't go over 6 amps. I heard people say, yeah, you can do 10, it doesn't matter, but normally the wiring is only made for about 6 amps
Okay.
max.
Because I know when I first got into EUCs, one of the things that you would hear a lot is the dangers of fast charging isn't necessarily that too many amps for the wires, but they say that it shortens battery life. That is what you used to hear a lot about.
Yeah, that's true when you do this on a small battery. Yeah, but
On a small one.
yeah, on a small one. If you go on with 5 amps for a wheel with 200 watt hours, then this 200 watt hours only have one parallel battery pack, and you push the complete 5 amps on this one pack, and then it's 5 amps is too much. But when you have 4 parallel packs and you go with 5 amps, you just have 1.25 amps per one of those 4 packs, and it's nothing then.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, giving a 1.5 amp charger for a 1600 watt hour wheel is a joke.
Yeah.
You can easily charge 3 amps or 5 amps on a 1600 watt hour. It's no problem at all.
Yeah, that was one of the changes that they made with the V11, because the charger that I got with the pre-production V11 was a 1.5 amp charger. Now they went 2.5 amp with production, so that's good. Madpack, hey Madpack, he thinks that the next technical evolution with EUCs will be adjustable lights that understand the position of the wheel, pointing the light in the right direction, which is a technology that automobiles have had for quite a few years. That when you turn the wheel, the headlights actually turn with you.
Yeah, actually, it's a good idea, and I think perhaps we will see adjustable lights, but self-adjustable, not any lights that will change the position themselves. Because that would be a bit much on a UC, I guess. You even don't have this in big cars. You have it in a BMW. Yeah,
Right.
self-adjustable lights, but I don't think self-adjustable lights we don't have in UC. I think so. Adjustable, right. Yes, this makes sense. When you go on a long hill, that you just push a little bit on the light, that you don't blind any other. When you go downhill, that you push on the light and still only light out the way and not the people that come in front of you. That makes absolutely sense. Adjustable lights. I don't think self-adjustable.
Because KingSong and Inmotion wheels already they have speed adjustable lights now, right? Like if you go faster, it throws further. If you're going slower, I think it automatically throws less light, I believe.
Yeah, that's true. It's speed adjustable. That is, but that's just giving more or less power on the light.
Right.
When you have adjustable in the sense of up and down or left and right, you've got to make the diode or the lens movable by a motor. And I don't think we will see this.
Yeah.
This is a bit too much asked. I mean, we have millions of bicycles, and we don't have an adjustable light on the bicycle until now. And
right.
Sure, possible is everything, and I think adjustable would be a progress.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always hear this when I drive at night, and depending on the light and on the machine I'm driving, you hear it from the people coming in front of you. Hey, you are blending me, and it goes a bit too high often.
Yep. So Leo asks, suspension aside, is the 16X still a good buy in 2020 compared to the V11 or S18? What do you think?
Yes. Why not? Depends. Also, if you, I have to say, I have not driven a suspension bike yet. I trust friends like Duff and Marty, and when I hear them and they say it's a good sensation, I trust them. But still, I would say a normal, powerful 16X is still a very good buy. I don't see it a downfall just because it has no suspension. Make the tire a bit softer, and there you go. If you only drive on streets, that's no question at all, I guess. My opinion.
I think haven't they dropped the price of the 16X a little bit since the S18 came out? I thought the price of it was reduced a little bit.
It's possible, yeah.
I mean, I'm just looking at e-wheels real quick. I'm curious what they're selling them for. I mean, my opinion on that has been that, like, if you already have a 16X, I don't know that suspension is that amazing that you have to sell your 16X immediately and go buy a suspension wheel. But for me, like, if I had a choice and I didn't have a wheel and I had a choice of a 16X or an S18 or a V11, I personally, knowing what I know now, I would get a suspension wheel. But that's just based on my experience and how it works with me being a 52-year-old man, that the suspension really helps me.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
I would also bring some other things in. What's with battery size and power and speed, and if this all is important, if you need very fast speed, you can only buy a Gotway anyway, or a Sherman. I don't know. It's so much. Depends on so much things.
Right. The actually the price is still the same. It's still just right around $2,000 for the 16X, so they have not dropped the price on it. Let's see. What? Okay, this is
14.
Reverend AI. And their next will be
$14,000.
Okay, well, we'll believe it when we see it.
Ooh. Okay, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out too. The V11 can actually triple charge with a USB as well. Is that too much? What? He's saying that you can also you could charge it through the USB port. I've never heard of charging a wheel.
No, I doubt it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Where did you see that or read that?
Yeah, I've not heard that.
That's USB is 5 volts. That does not work.
Yeah, that would be bad. Okay. All right. Steven has a question for you. Inmotion are saying that you can't use a 5-amp charger on the V11 and only use 2 of their standard 2.5 chargers. Is there any reason why you couldn't use a 5-amp? Is it a different pin configuration?
No, it's not. And sorry, this sounds a bit nonsense. I've seen the wiring from the V11 and it looks pretty standard as all others, so I guess it makes 5 amps, and they say 2 of 2.5 amp chargers. Why shouldn't it work? No. And what is possible, and I don't know, the Inmotion has a 3-pin charger now. Has Inmotion 3-pin charger? Yeah, you have to look at the 5 amp charger that the 3-pin configuration is the same, sure. Yeah, because normally our 5 amp charger that we use now for 84 volt wheels is a 4-pin charger. So you can't use it, but you have to take care of it, sure. But when you have to take care of this 3-pin, that plus and minus is correct, it's no different if you use 2.5 or 1 5 amp charger. I would not know one reason why this should be true. Okay.
Now, this is an interesting question because this actually reminded me of something that I wanted to ask you about. Brett says, what are the possibilities for foreign governments to spy on us through our EUCs? Now, I don't know that they're looking to spy on us by EUCs, but what this reminded me of is the whole big controversy about KingSong now locking down.
Oh, yeah.
That were designated for China but get sold overseas, and I'm sure you have some opinions on that. My reflex opinion on that was I didn't think it was a good idea to be punishing consumers, but on the other hand, I see how it also negatively affects dealers in the United States, for example, when sellers in China are pushing China wheels at a reduced price, it gives them a competitive edge.
Yeah, sure. I have an opinion on this. First of all, this is not meant against the consumer. It's I get why people are upset when they can't buy. Let's say when they can't pay $1,500 anymore and they have to pay $300-400 more in the US. I can tell you, in Europe we even have to pay much more, because any UC coming into Europe gets 25% tax and plus 20%, 25% custom plus 20% tax.
The VAT tax, the VAT tax.
Yeah, for example, the 16X, which you said is $2,000, in Europe costs even €2,200. That's $2,400.
Yeah.
So, but as said, it's not meant against the consumer. It's since several years, KingSong does not want to export these wheels, to export Chinese wheels into Europe or America illegal. They made a contract with their Chinese buyers, these AliExpress sellers that we know, and they have to sign. Normally, they sign a contract which pretty much states, "No, I cannot export this wheel, and when I export it, KingSong can take measurements and lock it or whatever." And the sellers sell them anyway. So they're doing something. They're breaking a contract. Make it short. KingSong bans them. Then they go through the middleman to the KingSong factory and buy wheels, signing a new contract, and so on and so on. That's, by the way, the reason why you see KingSong wheels much less than Gotway wheels on AliExpress. Gotway wheels, you find dozens of sellers. KingSong wheels, you only find one or perhaps two, but the most only sell underhand, because they know they are doing illegal. When KingSong catches them selling on AliExpress, they will get a fee or are banned as seller or whatever. So since years, it's the same. They are not allowed to. KingSong also, since years, is saying, please do not buy from AliExpress. We don't warrant this. We don't give warranty. Please go to your local seller. So, and now and I have to say, in my beginning, when I started with UCs, I also bought at AliExpress, but now I see it a little bit different. I know these AliExpress sellers, they are not only cheating with KingSong, they are also cheating to the German government, because when they bring and sell this wheel and send it to my door, they don't pay any tax, they don't pay any custom, they don't do anything for German economy. They just make a small buck on this UC, but it goes not into any cash from German government, no tax, no custom, and they just do this by betraying. Because when they send them over, they say, "Oh, they are only worth $50." They're not saying they are $1,500. They send them for $50, and when they are lucky, they go through, and you have them at their door. Or when you are not lucky, then you have to pay the difference, which happened to me also once. So, for me personally, it makes sense. KingSong don't want this. They have much more quality controls on the official sold wheels, and so they have the right to do so.
So are you saying that Gotway doesn't have these contracts? That's why you see so many Gotway wheels for sale on AliExpress?
There have been times when people from France go to AliExpress and want to buy a Gotway wheel, that it was €500 more expensive than for other countries. You understand? You came from France, where the biggest Gotway seller is sitting. You go to AliExpress, want to buy a Gotway wheel, and then it goes €500 up. There was times. It's not the case anymore. But as it looks now, they don't have contracts. They also don't want it because the sellers can't live here. They can't compete with this. They are paying taxes. They're paying custom, and there is this Chinese seller just sending a wheel over. No one, he gives a shit about everything.
Right.
So I totally understand this. I know it's hard to understand, and it costs us a little bit more. But you know, I'm momentarily I'm provisioning wheels also. If someone comes to me and says, "Hey, I want a KingSong or a Gotway or an Inmotion," yeah, I can commission a wheel or provision a wheel. And you know, I do service. Everyone can contact me. I help everyone. I'm doing 40, 50 mails sometimes for some problems. And then someone goes to AliExpress when it's about buying a new wheel because it's $100 cheaper.
Right.
That's not correct, you know.
Yeah,
I don't agree with it, really.
Yeah, the more I thought about that, I did think that I might have been a little quick to jump on the side that it was absolutely wrong because I do understand, you know, some of the other sides of it, that it's that these Chinese sellers are literally just taking advantage of the situation.
And
I don't know.
point, I want to say one point.
Yeah.
From KingSong, no one has to fear that his wheel is locked in the future. You know, I've read comments now that, oh my God, KingSong can lock my wheel. This might be technically possible over the app, but this will never happen. This does not go against any older consumer of KingSong wheels. It just goes against this shady Chinese sellers.
Right.
They just don't want them anymore. And this warning that they now brought up is just partly for the consumers to warn them, please don't buy them anymore because you can run the risk they are locked. It's also a big and fat announcement for the sellers. Hey, you can't sell them anymore because you can only sell locked wheels, you know?
Right.
And no one, as I said, I read comments, oh, they will lock my wheel. I bought it 2 years ago from China, or I don't know where it's from because I bought it secondhand. No one has to fear this. And as said, every wheel is locked from KingSong. It's locked for protection. When you get it, you take out the app, you unlock it. It's just locked for protection. And if someone is making a fraud and your wheel really is region locked, just call your seller and your seller can fix this in a second.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so no one has to fear about a locked wheel at all. This is for the future. This is to finally knock out the AliExpress sellers and other guys which take my English, sorry, which use the situation.
They take advantage.
Take advantage, sorry. And it's not against the consumers, really.
Okay.
I have worked 1.5 years together with them. They are not that kind of people. They are really trying to make people to do the best. Can't say it other.
Right. I don't know if you'd have any information about this or any thoughts on this, Ilf, as far as if Ninebot is going to continue in the EUC market or if they are pretty much done.
As far as I heard, they're done.
Okay, that's what I've heard as well.
Yeah. Nothing new.
I'll keep selling.
They are just scooters and so, but no UCs.
Okay, so Madpack gave more information regarding his turning light stuff he was talking about. He says, when I was talking about the lights, it's even if the front light of the V11 is simply amazing, when curving, you don't have the light pointing to the side. Okay, yeah. No, I understand what you mean. Yep. I just don't know that they'll do it. Maybe, I mean, if they can do it easily, sure. I mean, that'd be great. Leo says, for the future, do you see a possibility for GAN batteries? Again, I'm not familiar with what a GAN battery is. Are you familiar with a GAN? Oh, a gallium nitride. I've never heard of it. Have you heard of it?
Nope. Sorry. Must be
Okay.
that new that it's not consumer ready. Sorry.
Okay. I've not heard of it. Okay. Tommy says he's going to pick up a Ninebot Z10 for $1,000 cash today. Do you think it's a good deal? Seller says 80 miles on it. I mean, if that information is true, that's cheap for a Z10. I mean, a Z10 was about $2,000, but you got a wheel that really isn't supported very well.
Yeah, it's not supported very well, and for me, it's not that cheap. You already get new Z10 for $1,300 or $1,400. I don't know exactly. Depends how old it is, how used the battery is, and that's the main point, which Duff said. It's not. Nobody cares if something is defect. You won't find anyone who can repair it.
Right. Well, I know MadPack has some background with that because he has a Z10, and I think last time I heard he had to replace the bearing on it, and I guess it was a nightmare to try to do that.
Yeah, bearing you can change yourself, but what if you have a defect motherboard?
Yeah, that's bad. All right, so it looks like MadPack has some ideas about the KingSong announcement about locking wheels. About the KingSong lock is just ridiculous. It happened to mine and was purchased directly from KingSong. So he's saying that his wheel actually got locked.
Yeah, sure. They announced exactly that P wheels from China are locked, and just call them and it's unlocked. I talked to MadPack. I don't know why he's making it up here, because I talked to him before and it is already unlocked again. This part he leaves out.
Okay, so he says why KingSong can sell them directly to the U.S. and enter
to us. I think he means.
Us. So does KingSong? I mean, can you go straight to KingSong and buy a wheel and have it shipped to the United States?
Normal. It depends on what sort of contract they have with their distributors.
But but who like you mean like the dealers? Like because I didn't think I could even do that. I didn't think I could even say hey KingSong, sell me a wheel directly. I always thought it had to be through a third channel.
Yeah, it depends on how the contract with the dealer of your country is. If they've got an exclusive contract, you can't go to KingSong. They will always send you to their distributive seller. If you are a very small seller from the country, you can go and ask them directly. Then it depends on how they are able to send it to you and how not. Yeah.
Okay. Cameron said you were late to the live stream. Any word on the veteran Sherman? Yeah, if you go back and watch the replay, we did talk about the Sherman quite a bit earlier in the live stream.
Great wheel.
Yeah, great wheel. Just don't go on overheat hill with it.
Yeah.
Sure. Now, one thing that you and I have talked about in the past, and I wanted you to kind of talk about it here, because there's always been this back and forth between Gotway and KingSong, and I remember the one time you went into great detail talking about how Gotway allows the speed of the wheel to go higher. But KingSong allows like a zero battery on a KingSong is a lower voltage than a zero battery on a Gotway, and that is part of the reason that Gotway allows you to go faster, longer compared to a KingSong wheel.
Yeah, exactly. We've talked about this in detail, and I think in the meanwhile, I've seen it quite often on Facebook and in the forums, and it has gotten through. At least lately, it was the point that 0% on a 84. We talk about 84-volt wheels now,
right?
Yeah, just to compare them correctly. A Gotway has 0% at 68 volts, I guess, or 66. Let's say 66. While KingSong 18XL or KingSong 16X has 0% margin, only at 60 or 61 volt. So you can drive the battery longer. you can drive longer, but for a Gotway, it means that you are on 30%, or let's say it better like this. It's not so easy. You can better see it in some graphs, I guess. When a Gotway is showing 20 or 30%, then you still have 72 volts and can still drive full capacity and like with a full battery and full speed. While when a KingSong is showing 20%, you are already at 66 volt, where a Gotway would show you 0%.
Right.
And so that's why KingSong is kind of reducing the speed before, while it in reality isn't before, it's just on a different voltage. So the main point on this discussion is you can't exactly compare the percentages because they are different on the different wheels. It would be better you would compare voltages, then it would be easier to understand.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think in practice too, that like we've seen in range tests, that's why KingSong wheels with smaller battery packs than Gotway wheels actually go the same distance, if not further, than a Gotway wheel with a bigger pack.
Yeah, exactly. You can drive them further down. And the disadvantage of this is you can't go that fast anymore, and you should also not lean in that much. Yeah. It's a long. This story since long time. Yeah, it's always that people have said, "Oh, KingSong, the speed reducement, it's so early," while it exactly isn't so early. It's about the same as the Gotway, but it's just on a different percentage that you see. You know?
Right. I don't know if you have any information on this or not. Someone asked, Real Talk asked, does he know why the veteran engineers left Gotway? Do you know any background on that situation?
No, I only know this veteran engineer originally designed an MCM4, I heard. So the expertise is quite old. Yeah, that's what I heard. And it's not only the engineer, there's also some long-time women that worked at them is also gone and now at veteran.
Yeah, I think Lynn.
Yeah,
Lynn,
exactly. Yeah,
Lynn,
she's long-time employee from Gotway before, and I don't know details. I heard some stories that at Gotway it's a very young owner, and I can't go in. I just heard some stories that he likes the woman that worked for him, and that there's some trouble in the company about this, and so.
Wow.
No details really, and
Do you know
actually has nothing to do with veteran now. Yeah.
Right. Do you know any details of, I don't know if you've noticed lately, but Gotway is starting to rebrand to Begode, or however you pronounce it, BGODE, which I guess has always been part of their company name, but it seems like they're shifting away from the Gotway name. I didn't know if you've noticed that or if you've heard anything about why they're doing it.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know at all.
Because I heard someone mention something like it had to do with like copyright, or I don't know, like the Gotway name, I guess, was in dispute somewhere.
And what is the new name then?
Begode, BGODE. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, like if you look on their Facebook page, you'll see that now they're called Begode, not Gotway, and they're actually using a different logo and all kinds of stuff. It's strange.
Okay. No. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not that much on Facebook around anymore. Yeah. It's pretty sad that this scene is a bit ferocious and vicious.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. Leo asked if you have a YouTube channel. I don't know. Do you have a YouTube
No, sorry. I'm no media guy. I'm just in WhatsApp groups, and I have been in the forum before, but also not the last year. Yeah. Mainly Facebook and WhatsApp groups now, and you can contact me, Leo, per messenger on Facebook. I always answer.
Are you in Telegram? That's a big thing that a lot of EUC users are using nowadays. Is it another app called
Telegram? Yeah, I know Telegram, but no,
Okay.
that's mainly US, I guess. Telegram app.
Okay. Let's see. I'm just looking through the Mr. MS86 is
da tatsächlich, ja, das hört man doch, oder? You hear that?
Yeah. Oh, he knew that already?
When I'm stuttering here, my English together.
Well, you had said before that you thought your English wasn't that strong, but I mean that I don't think you're doing poorly at all.
My word finding is so bad.
Nah, it's not bad. It's fine. I think you're doing just fine.
Thanks.
Okay, Leo says, do you see other countries actually manufacturing EUCs?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Who should do this? Unfortunately, there have been an English company who was trying that before, but they are bankrupt now. I even don't remember the name. And there's also a company which is doing a Segway type 2-wheel thingy. They also go bankrupt. They have been from Germany.
Oh,
they're bankrupt now. Normally, you can't hardware you can only do in China, I guess, these days.
Yeah, you just can't compete as far as the cost, you know. Finn, do you know Finn? Finn's on the Facebook groups a lot.
Yeah, I know him.
Veteran is
at least from the name.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're successful for a good reason. They deserve this, I guess. I don't know.
Nobody said different.
Yeah. No, I'm really, to be quite honest, I'm very surprised because when it was first announced, you know, I was skeptical that it would even, you know, hit the ground like they would ever produce a wheel, but they really have had some very surprising success. I'm very surprised.
For the first throw, that's magnificent.
Yeah. And I'm curious what they're thinking as far as like if they're going to do different models or if they're going to just stick with you know what they have.
Would be interesting. They announced the seat and mudguard today.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh wow. So MS86 is talking to you in German.
Yeah.
That's the group.
Yeah. He says he's hearing it.
So Leo used to live in Germany. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Hanover. Wow.
Yeah.
Frankfurt. Oh, so he's from Frankfurt. Okay, so I'm trying to think what other subjects am I forgetting about, Ulf, as far as trying to think what else is going on in the EUC world that I feel like I'm forgetting something. Well, veteran. Finn asks, is veteran going to make a suspension wheel? I don't know, but based on all the attention that it's getting, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to do it. Hopefully, they would do something a little creative than the EX, but who knows?
Interesting if they have the knowledge to do the engineering task to do so. We will see on the Gotway wheel now the suspension. I'm really curious about it because normally engineering is not the best part.
No. And what do you think about their decision that they, you know, it's 2020 and they still have not made it that you can update firmware on their wheel from an app? I mean, to me, that just seems crazy, but I guess they're scared of their firmware, or, I mean, it's...
To my understanding, they make a big deal about their firmware and they don't want it in other hands. And their fear is that when they make official updates, that it can be reverse engineered. Yeah. That it gets into the hand of other companies and it can be reverse engineered. I don't know if...
but why does KingSong and Inmotion not have that same fear?
Yeah, I don't know if this makes sense, but at least this is something I heard when the disaster with the firmware on the MSX was, or M Super, I don't know exactly.
33S, like where it had that.
Yeah, there was one with vibrations.
Yes, yeah.
Where Marty crashed and where e-wheels had to update about 50 wheels or something by hand, and by opening them all up. And that was the background these days. They don't want the firmware into other hands.
I don't get it.
That was the main reason. They just have a Bluetooth tool. And perhaps another reason is that they are not the producers of their own motherboards. That can be another reason. That's what I mean. They don't have the engineering background to do it. When you see, for example, KingSong is really doing the boards themselves. They produce them absolutely themselves, designing them, putting the chips on. They have this. Don't know why. It's history, I guess. From the start on, they do them themselves. And you can see it's on the S18, for example, it's a complete new motherboard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
While, for example, on Gotways, you see the same small parts over and over again. It gets better. Yeah, no, nothing about this, but it's possible that it's not made directly by them. I have the company name in mind. Who is it, perhaps, but don't have it now. Can be another reason that they just can't do it because they are not the master of their own boards, you know.
Does KingSong make their own motors, or are they third-party motors?
These are bought, as far as I know. They don't do them themselves. That I've never seen.
Okay, because I heard it's the same thing with Gotway, that they buy their motors.
They buy their motors.
They don't
yeah. That's I don't know if they do them themselves now. Then it's changed.
Mm-hmm.
To my time, they bought them.
Right. Okay. Because that's one of the big deals with the V11 is that supposedly they designed this motor themselves.
Yeah, it's possible. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
They said they did. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yep. Madpack says the suspension on the EX is too exposed. I think Ulf and I both agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Finn, we've been talking about this. He asks, is suspension the future of the EUCs? What do you think? I say yes, for sure. Marty says yes. Ulf has an S18 on order, so he can't say officially, but I kind of have a feeling that he's going to be in the same camp once he.
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know the future. I can imagine we still have wheels without, because it's pretty much it's an act to put a suspension on a wheel. When you see what KingSong does on the back of the wheel with the bicycle type thing, and what parts you need on a V11, it's cost intensive, and so I guess we still see them without, like bicycles. You can get them with or without.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. But they are better. That's no question.
They are better. But one thing I did talk about in my last video was the one clear negative is they now have become much more challenging to work on. As far as have you seen any of the teardown videos for the V11? Oof.
Yeah.
It is not easy. There's a lot involved with it.
Yeah, it's a lot of effort, really.
Yeah, a lot of parts. Let's see. Madpack says Inmotion is much more in front technology, but I believe that reason is because KingSong was, before becoming KingSong, was a reseller of Gotway. I don't know. Is that true? Was KingSong a reseller of Gotway before?
No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know the history. I mean, I know that there is some connection to. I think Marty said this, that I guess originally the reason that Gotway is so protective of their firmware is way back KingSong used part of Gotway's firmware or something. That's what Marty said.
The conspiracy is this, that once upon a time, the owner of KingSong has worked at Gotways and then has stolen their IP and constructed KingSong. To this, I say, at the time when KingSong brought up their first wheel, this was the KS14C. Yeah. They brought up a wheel with lights, Bluetooth, LEDs, and at the time you had a Gotway which had none of these. From startup, the board was totally different, has nothing to do with the Gotway board at all. It has a different firmware. It drives totally different. So for me, this goes into the world of hoaxes.
Yeah, conspiracy.
And actually, when I asked, I just got a laugh. In the past, when I asked them, it's really it makes no sense. When they have when it really was like this, that the boss from KingSong stole something, some knowledge from them, then it seems that he has at that time the much better knowledge at all, because it was from start on a totally different experience and has nothing at all in common with the Gotway wheel at the time. Yeah,
it seems like
it just makes no sense.
Yeah, it seems like the core parts of it are different, but I don't know. But I have heard that rumor.
Yeah, exactly. The important parts are totally different. Boards, motors. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know anything which is same.
Yep. Cameron says the key is engineering.
Yeah, exactly.
The board fabrication isn't an issue once you have your own design.
Exactly.
Yep. Real Talk said, how much of testing failures are attributed to manufacturing or operator errors? I don't know if you're talking about like when the when those demo wheels go around, failures there. I don't know if you saw like Sean from New York City on his S18 video that he released yesterday, I think. In there's a couple scenes. I don't know if you saw it, but
No.
S18's cutting out, where it looks like the riders overpowered them, they overleaned them, and they cut out.
Yeah, I have seen one of these videos. Yeah, it looks like an overlean. Yeah, and honestly, still can happen on all wheels depending on battery. I don't know if that's clear to anyone. It just depends on how much power you draw, and when the battery can't deliver it, where should the power come from?
Right. Yeah.
And then it's just, there are warnings a lot, but when you just overlean too much, it's too fast that these warnings can come up. Normally a KingSong and a Gotway 2 has warnings. When you lean too much, there are 80% warnings of overpowering. But when you lean that heavy, that it goes that fast, that this warning can't come up and the power is gone, it's gone.
Right.
It doesn't help.
I'm trying to think if I have seen, I don't know that I've seen someone overpower a V11 yet that it cut out. Maybe it has been out there, but I don't think I've seen that yet. But it would happen.
Fairly new. It will happen. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think I don't seen it, but I heard from it.
Yeah. Leo says that some of the S18 test units, it seems that the outer shells are a bit weak. I know that's one of the things that they addressed with the production S18.
Yeah.
So they made some improvements with that.
That's what I heard also.
They
improved, and also these really outer shells are produced in a way that they clip in and clip out, so that on a crash they normally jump off something. Yeah.
Yeah, and plus that makes them easily replaceable. Like if they do,
exactly,
it's easy to far easier than doing a whole shell replacement. So that is nice. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting my S18. It's going to be great to have 2 suspension wheels. Madpack says about are you familiar with the go home mode that they have with the V11? Ulf, have you read about that or heard about that?
I heard about it, yes.
I guess it basically just lets it unlocks deeper into the pack to allow you to literally go home at a significantly reduced speed.
I heard of it, but it's not 30% of the battery.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. 30% of the battery is a bit much as a go home mode, I think.
Hmm. Yeah. And Leo asked me about the V11 construction, and Ulf has seen the teardowns, and I can tell you firsthand that the V11 it just feels like it's the first EUC that I've ever ridden. Maybe the V10 felt similar as well, even though obviously it had lots and lots of problems. But as far as build quality goes, the V11 feels very similar to the Z10. It seemed like a lot of attention was paid to detail, for sure. Quality components. That's probably the most impressive thing for me, for sure. Oh, you got a fly flying around? Oh, I don't hear you. Nope, now I hear you. Nope, now I hear you.
No BMS prevents a cutout. That's a mystery. BMS is just for battery protection. And
Right.
the BMS does not prevent a cutout.
Well, that is one of the things that Inmotion said was different with the V11 is it has a smarter BMS that supposedly will allow you, like if there's a cell failure in one pack, it would actually allow you to still operate on the other pack.
That's actually what all our wheels do.
Oh,
When
so
you have we have several parallel packs.
Mm-hmm.
As said, 6 in a K16X or 6 in a MSX or your 18XL, 6 parallel packs, and when 1 or 2 cells or even more failure, the other pack catches this up. The only thing that happens then, when one cell fails, the others go on the same level. But it's still, when one cell fails, the others provide also enough power. So you don't have a cutout because of this.
So why do you think Inmotion pitched their BMS as being different if it provides the same?
The difference is they have one BMS for their complete battery. That's different. But this actually doesn't, how it's done, doesn't provide any advantage.
Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting. So it's more of a marketing point more than anything else.
Mostly.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You see, when you look into your wheel, there's not only the wires to the battery for loading and charging. There's also one small wire,
The
which,
balance.
for balancing, for communicating with the other pack.
Mm-hmm.
So one alone doesn't fail. They work on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, let's see here. I think we're pretty much caught up on comments here, Ulf. I don't know. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover while we're on here? Or you tell
I've taken some notes before, but I guess we got the famous KS lock.
Yeah. I can't believe I almost forgot about that because that was all anybody was talking about last week was KingSong screwing me over, locking my wheel.
Yeah, I really only can say contact your seller, and everything will be done right. Mistakes can happen. It's just meant as lock in the future. There have been 2 or 3 or perhaps 4 wheels that accidentally have been locked, but it's not locked forever. Your seller can redo it at once. This is meant against these Chinese sellers, not against customers.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone will be happy again. And as said, more I can't say. I guess
because KingSong does it's definitely not KingSong's goal to make their customers unhappy.
Yeah, exactly. As background also, I've talked about them about a month ago or 3 weeks, and this lock actually is a bit longer in progress. It's not since July. It's already done so since April. Nobody has got it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see anything about it. And when they told me this, I said, hey, guys, you've got to announce this. You can't let people buy wheels. I don't think any Chinese seller will sell them anymore when they are locked, you know?
Right.
But if so, you can't let the people run into this without saying anything, you know? You've got to do a warning for the customers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now this pushes back. It's no happy announcement. That's for sure. The people, yeah, they see.
Now people know. So that's
People
good.
know, yeah. We've got to pay more now. They only see this. They are not happy about it, yeah. But actually, it was this that I said, hey, please, you've got to warn. You can't do it, and people receive this wheel from AliExpress and it doesn't work, and you just say, oh, sorry, didn't we say this? So they announced it, and I think it's only fair. Yeah, they
Yep.
take the blame now for it, but actually, it's nothing different since 2 months or a year ago. It was always the same. We don't warrant these wheels, and
No, it
it's
makes sense.
just a measurement to get the sellers away.
Right.
And from a personal point. I'm really working much together with Einradwerkstatt. In my view, one of the best sellers and especially service in Europe. Best service. They can repair your battery packs. They can do everything on your wheel. They can repair motors, hall sensors. They do everything on KingSong, Gotway, Inmotion, whatever you want. Yeah,
Yep.
they're great. And it's actually, you bring all those sellers and service and people who do a lot for community, like e-wheels, you bring them down with this Chinese nonsense. Sorry, it's
Yeah.
the truth. Yeah, it comes when this. Imagine things like this, buying everything on AliExpress for your daily stuff. Then you can't go into the supermarket anymore. You have to order it on AliExpress because no one is providing you with anything. I mean, this is extreme, but it goes like this. If he doesn't take care, I'm supporting local shops. Yeah, and as said, for example, he really has to take care about Einradwerkstatt. As I said, it's doing service, doing all repairs, and if it's going for some bucks, the people go to AliExpress. It drives you crazy.
Right. Yeah, no, I
Really.
understand. Yep. Dave Wood, I think I already know your answer to this, Ulf, and I can tell you my answer is no. Do you think it's possible to eliminate cutouts in the future?
Exactly, no. You could, but you have to make the wheel that weak that you don't want it anymore. You have the headroom. You have to put so much headroom in it that it's really not possible to cut out anymore. And when we got new wheels, we want these wheels to be powerful, to drive fast, and to take something new from the new wheel. You know, the headroom. There is already headroom. You can design it bigger, but then you need bigger batteries, more weight.
Right.
So I would say, not in a normal sense. You can't eliminate it.
Yeah, not
when you lean like crazy or go overheat hill 2 times, yeah, that's the story. Then it goes boom.
Yep, I agree. Randy, if you get a chance to watch the stream back on replay, Ulf talked about this, and basically in a nutshell, he said that swappable batteries aren't a practical solution because EUCs run on multiple battery packs, and it would not work very well at all.
Yeah. You cannot change only one. It's not possible.
I don't know if you know anything about this, Ulf. Is there any talk of a version of the 16X?
That's actually the first time I've been asked about the 16X. I've been asked if a S18 version with a bigger battery is coming. And I can say officially, I don't know. I don't know from any version. They say, no, it's not coming. Even, as said, I have good contacts. They say, no bigger version. 16X version 2, totally new designed. Perhaps next year, not in the near future.
Well, yeah, if they would do a new one, well, I mean, people would expect it would have either a bigger motor or a bigger battery. I mean, do you see KingSong like putting 2,000 watt-hour batteries in their wheels ever?
Suspension. They would expect suspension now. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I can see them put the bigger batteries in. It's consumer choice. There have been times that KingSong doesn't want to produce any wheel with a bigger battery than 1,000 watt-hours. They thought there's no market for it. Since the 18XL, they know better.
Right.
That was a big success for them. And since then, they know that 1,600 watt-hour or more, that it's needed.
Do you think that they have any interest in competing in that ultra long range market at all, or they're good where they're at? I mean, they don't want to make something that can go 100 miles, like a veteran, for example, or a month.
I think the weight. I don't think they will do a 2,500 watt-hour wheel or so.
Yeah,
I can't see it. It's so much weight.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But
yeah, these are like the Monster, the Sherman, the Monster Pro. These are even more niche wheels. Yeah, they are sold, but they are sold in so small numbers. These wheels, even when we now all see the Sherman, it's about $3,000, and you. Yes, you see a lot of videos now, but I also know a lot of people who say, "What, $3,000? No, that's too much niche for me." Well, they better pay $1,500 and take a K16X or what else, or buy two wheels.
Right. Well, the Monster Pro, I heard, is going to supposedly be selling for almost $4,000.
Yeah, sure. With that lot battery packs. It's 4 battery packs with 900 watt-hour each. That's crazy. Crazy heavy. Crazy powerful. But 4,000 euro, I could buy a car. Really, yeah.
It's true. Yeah. I think sometimes, and I know I'm guilty of it, is I'm fortunate that I have money available that I can pay for these wheels and enjoy the hobby. But for a lot of people, I mean, the price point to get into the hobby is very, very high, and
that's true.
It adds up to so much money.
Yeah, that's true, and it's the batteries; they're expensive.
Although they would be coming down, because usually most tech is getting cheaper.
Yeah, they are already down, but it's still these battery packs are more or less handmade,
Right.
That we see. They are not mass produced. When we see a 84 volt pack or 100 volt pack, the people in the Gotway factory or KingSong factory do them themselves. They stack the batteries together and solder them together, and it's no mass production pack. And so this will still stay expensive. And you see it on bicycles also. Electric bicycles are very popular here in Germany, and you don't get them under $1,500-$1,600. And they only have a quarter of batteries than our UCs. They go with 350 watt-hours.
Oh, wow.
Not with 1,600 or perhaps 500 watt-hours, but not... When I talk to an electric bicycle rider and I tell him how much batteries I've got inside my wheel, he makes big eyes. Yeah, really.
This is kind of an interesting question. How much more does the warranty add to the cost of a wheel? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I guess that's pretty much internal for a seller. It's a lot. I don't know the States, but here in Germany or in Europe, you pretty much everywhere have 2 years warranty. You can take out the battery from this because the battery is a usable product. You only have to give a half year or something. But imagine in 2 years, a lot of people are coming back and want something to repair or something can go wrong. And then you also have to pay the transport costs here in Germany.
Right.
So the buyers sends you the wheel, and you have to cover all costs. Sending back also for a 25 kilogram wheel. That's a lot. It's 40 euros just for one transport.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry, you are with 100 euro for the transport alone, and then there's the cost of covering the wheel.
Right.
It's a lot.
So in a situation where you're dealing with a dealer, like say you have a problem with your wheel, a part gets replaced by your dealer. So the dealer then reaches out to KingSong, and KingSong will send them that part.
Exactly.
Does KingSong pay them for doing the repair, or they just replace the part?
They replace it. Yeah. No, KingSong don't pay them for the repair. That's a service that the seller gives themselves, this repair, you can say. But KingSong is giving the parts. Yeah. And the big sellers have a lot of parts in stock. Yeah. But actually, they go with a serial number. They go to KingSong, and KingSong, say a board blows or something, they send a new board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Real Talk asks, are you affiliated with OneRad Modified EUC products? You said
is affiliated something bad? Must I?
I don't know. Is it?
As I said, I'm provisioning wheels. I've sold Einrad modified products. Yes.
So what? Because I know OneRad way back from Ninebot 1 days when they used to sell the bigger packs for the Ninebot 1s.
Exactly.
So like, what sort of modifications are they doing now?
They produced a Gotway 100 volt, 2,660 watt hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's great.
Oh yeah. Wow. That's good. That's crazy. So they're basically adding battery capacity. That's their big mod.
Exactly. They've done a third 100 volt pack, and no, actually they don't do a third volt pack. They've got the complete wheel with 21,700 cells.
Yeah.
And added 3 packs of this. 3 packs, which are in total 6 parallel battery packs of 21,700s, 2,660 watt.
Did they have to like modify the case to get those all to fit?
Nope.
Or how?
Nope.
Really? They don't have to move components around or anything. They just
nope.
they find the space for it. Really?
They fit it. Yes.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, great.
In a long time.
Not cheap, but great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and what kind of range you get out of a pack like that?
The customers I heard from some customers which easy done 120, 140 kilometers on it.
Oh wow!
And then had tire feet.
Yeah, I can't imagine riding that long. That's crazy. John asks, is anyone working on a single-sided swing arm unicycle to make tire changing easier? No, not that I'm aware of.
No, me too. It's
he's talking about like how some motorcycles are like that.
Yeah, I understand. But the problem is you've got to provide our user weight on both sides.
Right.
And you imagine the axle you have to put through the wheel, and then in U form to put something around the wheel which is strong enough to still provide for the other foot that it doesn't crash. I don't know. The swing arm would be massive, and the axle also. I don't know. And you still had the swing arm. You have to stand on it. You still had it a bit in the way for changing tire. I don't see it. So
right. No, I agree. Let's see.
Yeah, tire changing is.
It's not fun.
Nice.
although I have to say, the 18XL and the 16X were way easier than doing it on a Gotway. Those were designed well as far as tire changes go. Not hard at all.
Yeah, I agree.
So Cameron says that he sees a lot of $2,000 wheels that fly apart on hitting the ground. Yeah, I see that too.
Yeah. But a question before it. Have you seen a motorbike that doesn't fly apart when you hit the ground with 50 kmh?
Yeah, it probably
It's
does.
broken. It's broken too. Why do the people expect from their UC that it's totally fine?
Did you see that video of a guy was on a Nikola?
Yeah.
He was on a path and he got speed wobbles. He fell off backwards and the Nikola kept going and it hit a pole. Did you see that?
No, not this one especially.
It looked like it would have destroyed the Nikola, but the Nikola actually survived quite well. I think it was
cool.
I think it was rideable, but I mean, it hit a light pole, probably going at least 20 miles an hour, and that was pretty impressive. The Nikola actually is pretty durable. But a lot of wheels aren't.
They are all pretty durable. It depends on the crash. You can really be lucky and nothing happens. You have some scratches, and if you are unlucky and hit the pedal arm with the wrong crash, then it's bent, and you have a really, really bad wheel then.
Right. So MadPack says the 16X was just a wheel not tested at all. Let's the user test it for us.
Can you look into your iMessage stuff?
My iMessage?
Yeah.
Oh, my Facebook message.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me go there.
Yeah, so okay. The 16 was just not tested.
Gotcha. Let me switch over here. Okay, so Mickey from EVX is here. He says that the veteran's second wheel will determine if they get lost in the mix or dominate. I don't know. I'm curious.
Yeah.
We were talking about that, Mickey, earlier, as far as we don't know if they're gonna stick with the Sherman, the Sherman philosophy, or if they're gonna try different size. Stuff like
that. I think when they want to dominate, they have to make a mass market wheel.
Right.
Something like a Tesla or a 16X or an 18-inch. Yeah, and something that goes under $3,000.
Right.
So that it's something for everyone. Yeah, I think this will show how they stay in the market. My opinion is they're still niche. Yeah, it's popular, no question, but it's just too expensive to get mass market.
Yeah, no, definitely.
This doesn't have the numbers than any V8 or V10 or 16X.
Right. Yeah, I'm curious if they're thinking on those terms, or if they want to just specialize in ultra long range, ultra fast wheels. Let's see. I'm going through. We're getting behind on the comments here, Ulf. That's why I'm trying to scroll through here. Mickey's here. Mickey's a comment monster. All right, MadPack's out of here. Okay. People asking about solid state battery. So Cameron, you ordered a Sherman, I guess. I think I saw that in the comments. You actually ordered a Sherman. You're going to replace them with solid state. He said he's going to replace them with solid state batteries.
In a few years, yeah.
In a few years.
Yeah. Why not? But that's actually something most people think our battery packs are dead in 2 years or 3. They probably last much, much longer.
Mm-hmm. Finn's asking about nylon OV. What is that?
That's the foot pedal with.
Oh, you heard of it?
Yeah, with some holes in it. It's produced from nylon, and yeah, they look great. Yeah, just a little bit expensive. I would like to try them. They really look great, and I think they are, like, yeah, as you said, lightweight.
Yeah. Do they make them for different wheels, for different manufacturers' wheels?
Yeah, for Gotway, and I've seen them for Gotway and for KingSong.
Okay. Let's see.
Have you searched for nylon oath that you see a photo?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, I never heard of it.
Yeah, from Russia, I guess. There's a lot of extras or accessories from Russia.
Okay. Oh, I can't. What is? Oh, I see him. Okay. Oh, those are cool looking. Yeah. Wrong way. I guess put them on his. Is that an M Super? Yeah. Okay. I have seen those before. I didn't know they were called nylon oaths. That's cool. Very cool. Cameron says he's had several motorcycles that he's laid down at higher speeds than any EUC can hit, and they all still rode. Cool. How much did you pay for those motorcycles? Ulf's wife is there. Cindy's not here.
Yeah.
Mickey was talking about the nickel is durable if you hit it from the side. If you smash the front, it'll break that part of the shell. Okay.
Yeah.
I know Nikki has crashed his a few times. Oh, Cindy is here. Okay. Cindy must be. Cindy's name is Fit Farm Chick on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And she must be with her grandson. Her grandson's name is DJ. So I guess they're checking it out on their phone or something. Okay. Yep. Mickey agrees that the veteran needs to create more mass market wheels that's just as durable. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, what do we got here? Real Talk says everyone works for KingSong.
I mean,
I missed. No. I don't work for KingSong. And Mickey, I don't know if you know this or not. Ulf actually, he doesn't work for KingSong anymore. You know, he was like a rep, like a social media rep for them for a year and a half. But he beginning of the year he stopped doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
But he still knows a lot.
And I said voluntarily. My God.
Yep. Yep. All right, so I think we're caught up here.
Yeah.
If there's anything else you want to go over, let me know. Otherwise, I can let you go.
Time has flown by, really.
Yeah. We're over 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Over 2 hours. That was fast.
Yeah.
These 2 hours.
But now it's 11 o'clock. Now it's 11 o'clock out there.
Yeah.
It's time for you guys to go to bed.
It's Saturday. Okay.
Yeah.
We make a bit longer.
That's good. Cool. All right. Well, I appreciate you being on here, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Really great.
Yeah, we'll do it again sometime for sure.
I hope you understood me all well.
No, like I said, seriously. I mean, you seriously did fine. And I usually turn these live streams into podcasts as well. So, I mean, if you want, you can listen back to it there to see what you think of your English. But I think you did just fine. You really did.
Thanks.
Yep. Okay. Thanks a lot, Elf. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And we will see you again soon.
Bye, Sean. Thanks a lot.
All right. No problem. See ya.